Hello, my name is Julia Yee. Today I would like to talk to you about genetic engineering. I'm going to cover the history, the problems, and then some solutions. So let's start with a basic definition of genetic engineering. Before I continue though, I would like to specify that I am specifically focusing on human genetic engineering, or HGE for short. Anyway, according to Merriam-Webster, the definition of genetic engineering is the science of making changes to the genes of a plant or animal to produce a desired result. Now I want you all to remember this definition, for it will be important to know later on. So, how did genetic engineering in human and as a whole begin? According to gmeducation.org, this whole process kick-started in the second half of the 19th century with Charles Darwin and Gregor Mendel. These two men, whom I hope you've heard of, are responsible for creating an interest in genetics and alternate genes. Now that there was a new profound interest in this science, many people began experimenting and researching. The next big event happened in 1974 when Stanley Cohen, Annie Chang, and Herbert Boyer created the first genetically modified DNA organism. This experiment marked a huge turning point for the science. Now scientists and the public realized that maybe this process could be used for humans. In 1991, the first human gene therapy trials were conducted with amazing results. From then till now, there have been quite a few human experiments, most ending with more good than bad results. So now that we know the history, we can move on to the problems. The human population hopes that the genetic engineering can be used to create a disease-free world. And based on the historical facts that were just stated, it seems highly possible. But just because it is possible, it doesn't mean it's necessary. Let's go back to the definition. Genetic engineering is the science of making changes to the genes of a plant or animal to produce a desired result. It appears that this so-called desired result is a disease-free world. But what if the desired result changes? What if the desired result is actually to create a diverse free world where every single human on Earth is genetically modified to be perfect? Well, this brings to attention the many problems associated with human genetic engineering. There is a huge possibility that in the future, this process will not be used to better one's health. It will be used to create clones of a perfect human being. Imagine that, a world where everyone is the same. This issue is only one of the many ethical problems with HGE. Let's not forget that there are other problems that are not ethical. There are many potential safety hazards associated with HGE. To begin, HGE is too dangerous because the risk of actually creating new mutations in an attempt to fix one. In fact, many scientists say that the risk of generating new mutations is holding them back from advancing further with the process. Any small mistake could lead to a huge alteration that cannot be fixed. Also, the long-term effects are not yet known. Since HGE is fairly new, long-term effects from experiments could still be coming. It might take up to 10 years for a symptom to show up. Another possibility with HGE is the risk of overpopulation. Of course, HGE will improve the health and reduce the death rate of the whole population. This will lead to a larger population. The problem is that our Earth cannot supply a larger population with the resources needed. Even today, there are millions of people in poverty and millions of people who are hungry. There's simply not enough food and space to go around. The number of impoverished people will only rise if HGE is perfected and used on humans. As you can see, HGE has many possible problems, ethical and non-ethical. So what can we do to make sure that these possibilities do not become reality? Well, obviously, we can stop HGE altogether, but the chances of that are very slim. But there are some things that we can do. We can spread awareness about HGE and the many risks associated with it. We can also try to limit the science to the sole use for health purposes. I would like to make clear that I am not against genetic engineering as a whole. I know that it has the potential to do great things for us. I also realize that genetic engineering in food has helped many rural countries. But I do believe that human genetic engineering is too dangerous and too controversial to improve and continue. I hope that in the future it is only used for health purposes and nothing more. So today, we covered genetic engineering, its history, which started in the 19th century, its problems, ethical and non-ethical, and some solutions like education. I hope you enjoyed my TED Talk, and thank you for listening.